Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Very beautiful night here in San Diego, just about perfect. In San Diego, you don't have any wind. It's almost a perfect temperature. There's no bugs, there's no flies, there's no mosquitoes, and it's just about the same every night. So it's really beautiful here in San Diego tonight. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kent. The channel is EOS San Diego. Of course, I'm in San Diego, actually in Carlsbad, California. And I talk about EOS every single night because there's usually a lot to talk about with EOS, but actually the video tonight's about how there really isn't a lot to talk about right now with EOS. And I kind of think EOS is a kind of being a victim of their own success. And I noticed, just by going around looking through Reddit and some of the other places where I look for information, there just really isn't a lot being written about EOS right now. And the reason is I just think that they've actually performed perfectly, and nobody's really talking about it because there's nothing to talk about. Let me talk a little bit further about that, what I'm talking about, what I mean by saying that. I've been following EOS since its very inception, when they started raising money over a year ago. And of course, there were a lot of people that didn't think EOS was ever going to launch. A lot of people didn't think EOS was going to do anything. So there was a lot of controversy involved with the blockchain, with the EOS blockchain. A lot of people were questioning Dan Larimer. A lot of people were questioning if it was even going to launch, if they were ever going to get the block producers, if there was going to be security issues, if they were going to get enough people to vote to launch the chain. All of these things were talked about endlessly. And of course, it made a lot of news about EOS. So as EOS progressed, and they did raise the money. A lot of people didn't think they would raise the money either, so that was another big issue. So as they raised the money, and they raised all the money that they needed to raise, then as that progressed, they were able to come up with the software. Block One was able to release the open source software, and then at that point they had to get the block producers together. The block producers had to launch the software because Block One wasn't going to do it. They handed it off to the block producers to do it, and they did it very quickly in unanimous fashion. So it all happened just exactly the way it was supposed to happen. In fact, I think a little bit better than it was planned to happen. I was talking to people at the time that were on the inside, the block producers, and they were worried about other chains launching, other similar chains launching along with the EOS blockchain, because it is an open source software. So anybody could launch the chain. So they were thinking, hey, they were going to have multiple chains launch with the software. It never happened. And then there was security issues. Oh, it's not going to run because there's going to be, somebody's going to come in and there's going to be a lot of security issues with the blockchain. They were talking about the smart contracts being able to be hacked. And the chain wasn't going to be able to operate. There was just a multitude of issues going on. And all that got worked out. It all happened. It all did exactly what they said they were going to do. And then they would say, well, it wasn't going to have very good transactional speeds. Well, here we are. We're having over 7,000, 7,500 transactions per second. All this is going on just exactly the way they said it was going on, which means EOS is kind of a victim of their own success. They've done everything so well, and so what they said they were going to do, that now it doesn't even have much newsworthiness, because only people want to talk about bad things. They don't want to talk about good things. When good things happen, they just don't talk about it. Bad things happen, everybody talks about it. So only good things have happened for EOS because they've done everything they said they were going to do, which means that EOS has kind of been forgotten. It's kind of, that's why I believe the price is lower a little bit right now, and people just aren't noticing what's really going on here, which is they've launched a blockchain at tremendous speeds. That is something unlike anything else that's ever been launched in the world, with all these different features to it. The ability to trade RAM, the ability to receive airdrops, the ability to receive money for staking tokens, and voting. All this now has worked out better than we planned because we didn't anticipate all that stuff. And now nobody's really noticing because everything's going so well. So what I would say about this right now is this is the time to stake a position. This is the time to get involved because no one's noticing. When they do notice, the price will be going up pretty fast, pretty rapidly. And I think guys like Novogratz, they're giving it a couple of years before they think big investors are going to come in. I'm looking maybe more like 12 months before bigger people start coming in. I think the block producers and the people that are working, it's an open source platform, a lot of people building tools. The better the tools are, the more people will be involved with this. But as of right now, EOS has just kind of been a victim of their own success, because everything's worked out just as they had anticipated, and without any problems whatsoever. Like I said, there was supposed to be multiple chains launched, and they didn't launch. Only the EOS blockchain launched. They were never supposed to get unanimous votes from the block producers. They got unanimous votes. The block producers were never supposed to be able to be in sync and work together building these blocks. Everything's worked out really, really well. So like I say, EOS has kind of been a victim of their own success, which means there's not a lot to talk about right now. And then if there's not a lot to talk about, that's a time to buy. Because you buy when nobody's noticing. That's when you buy. That's when you stake positions. You buy when nobody's noticing. When things start to happen, something big breaks, something big is launched on this blockchain, then you're already going to see rapid appreciations. And so this is the time to buy. This is the time to get involved. This is the time to notice what's really going on. And this is the time to see that everything's gone as planned. Everything has been done just exactly as they said it was going to be done. And actually keep coming up with new ways to make money off this token. New ways of creating, new ways of being able to make other residual incomes, other dividend incomes from this blockchain. So this is really something that is unique and something that a lot of people just aren't watching, because there isn't anything negative to talk about. And people thrive on negativity. I mean, I see it on the internet all the time. The more negative things are, the more interest it gets. The more interest it gets, then more people start to notice it and talk about it. And sometimes that creates activity and it creates people buying. So yeah, this is really kind of a unique situation. It's gone so well that it's kind of become something people haven't talked about. So start paying attention, because they will be starting to talk about it here very soon, because things are going to happen. Big things are going to happen. I actually think there's going to be some big announcements from Block 1. I was anticipating that when they launched the blockchain. I think they're going to get some big announcements coming out here pretty soon. And if you're buying now, if you're staking now, if you're building a position now, you have bought at a good time. That's my recommendation. Buy when nothing else is going on. Buy when everybody is not noticing, which is right now. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.